What are the common challenges that you have seen amongst individuals or couples that you have worked with, especially amongst veteran spouses? What are the kind of common challenges that you have seen?
I mean, I appreciate what you're doing to provide a platform for that group. I did some work with the veterans groups over the course of my career, and I spent a lot of time training the United States Army, training battalions through Ziegler sales and all that. We did something called Camp Better America, and maybe I'll use that reference of people who came back from war zones, who raised their kids on Skype, who basically were deployed for 9, 10, 12 months a year and left behind spouses to run the family. Two things that we saw: these people came back with some trauma for the war they saw, or the people they saw, or the arenas they were in. And as a result, when they came back home, they tried to solve the home problems like they would in a combat zone. That doesn't work, because in the Army, Navy, or any of the defense forces, you have people who give you orders and you respond to orders. So when they come back together, one person tries to take charge and it backfires, especially in that relationship. So, what we always encourage people to do is don't try to change where you're arriving, try to fit in to the best of your ability. To the person who's on the receiving end saying, hey, you're receiving someone who came with a lot of structure, don't just suddenly take that structure away. Try to make sure they have structure when they come home. And that way, there's some, give them some discipline. And we created that duality. But the problems we primarily saw was turf war. The wife or the spouse who stays home and raises the children has a system that's in place because she's doing two jobs or he's doing two jobs. The one who arrives in has come from a different kind of structure. And when you have two authorities, they kind of clash. Adrian Rogers, the great preacher, once said, anything with no head is dead, and anything with two heads is a freak. So we have to find some kind of leadership. I don't like to use the word sacrifice or compromise, because both of those require you to give up some part of you. I like the word investment, which means when you give up some part of you, do it as an investment into what it can grow into the future, because that's what investment does, even though it costs something in the present.